Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how I was able to automate some daily tasks with the help of Power Query so that it saves times and have more accurate results. So let's get into it. So I'll tell you the scenario. The scenario is our company has two systems. We call it system 1 and system 2. So these systems are used to record some financial transactions. And at the end of each day, these transactions are integrated to our main financial system. So that's kind of simple, right? But we run into a problem. We find out that sometimes the financial system data, which is showing green right now, does not match our system's data. So, what could be the reasons? Well, there could be multiple reasons, and they are not mutually exclusive, meaning that they can happen, more than one reason can be happening at the same time. First reason could be the integration error. It could be that the data does not arrive fully towards the financial system. So the financial system processes only the data that actually is received. So it is possible that some data is either corrupted or never reached to our financial system. Another reason could be system 1 or system 2 from the left side have some reporting issues. It is possible that either of the systems cannot even generate the data which has to be sent. So that problem can cause incomplete financial data to arrive at the financial system. Then we come to financial system errors. Well, the data arrives properly, but the financial system was not able to process it properly. And one last thing is data mapping issues. It is possible that system 1 or system 2 have some values which are not there in the financial system. And that could be the reason why financial system was not able to process this. So, what could be the solution? Well, it's kind of easy. Just run reports from all three systems and match the data, right? But wait, it is not always that easy. Why? Because if you see closely, every system has a different type of output. In our example, it was one system was throwing Excel output, the next system was in CSV, and third system was in text format. Now, it is possible through the use of IT department's help and other measures that we would have been able to get everything in Excel. But then comes that each system is designed differently, and it was not possible for us to just match by running reports. And there is one last issue that all systems have different naming conventions for locations. We'll come to that. But the thing is, okay, what I'm trying to prove a point is it's not that simple just to generate reports from all these systems and match it by using some Excel formula because it does require some data preparation and mapping to arrive at the same data from all these systems so that we can easily match it. So now let's go and see what are the sample reports or the sample data we get from each system. First, I will show you the data coming in from system 1. You can see that the date column is showing as date and time. The location column is showing the place. The third column is method, which is basically cash or credit card, and the total and the amount collected is showing in column D. Now let's see data from system 2. You can see that it has a different format and also it's in the CSV format. So if you see here, it is giving me total amount. So as contrast to the system 1, which was giving one each transaction separately, this is giving total amount collected during the total amount collected during the day. Now let's see the data from our financial system. As I said before, the financial system throws text file. So you can see from here, the financial system has headers. Then it is showing the source where it is coming from. In this example, it is system 1. Then it is giving some transaction number, then the location, and then the amount. Then it is showing the other source system, and then invoice, location, and amount. So our job is to make sure that we are able to match this figure with the system 1 figure and these figures, all three of them, with the system 2 figures. So I hope I am able to explain the situation. One more thing, please remember, see the location. Every system has a different naming convention. So in this example, this location is defined differently in system 2. Similarly, this location is defined differently in system 1. So we need a mapping table for all three systems reports so that we are able to match their figures. This will be more clear when we actually make our Power Query matching program. So let's get into it. So now I am into a brand new file, and this will be our file where all three systems data is consolidated and mapped so that we are able to match the figures. So first things first, we'll import the data. So let's go to data, get data from file, and from Excel file. We are starting with system 1. So I selected system 1 and click import. Now it has only one sheet and you can see the data is arriving. What we will do is click on transform data. Make sure we remove the change type. Make sure we remove the change type because we are going to make our changes. First thing is we need to remove the time because time in this example does not matter. So we'll go here and say only the date is required. Secondly, we need to change this amount type to a decimal. Very nice. Let's just say change the query name to system 1 report or query. We are not going to load it in our file because we don't need the data. We just need to create a connection. So what we will do is we are going to select close and load to only create a connection and add this to the data model. Click OK. Now the queries and connection pane will open and it will show you that it has properly loaded the data. Mind you, this is a very small amount of data which we are working with because it's a sample data. In reality, we had to work with hundreds of lines of data every day. Let's go and select now text/CSV. We go to the next system data, which is the system 2. Click on import. And now we have to do some work. You can see that the top few lines are header lines. We don't need it. We only need the table. So what we will do, we'll go to transform data again. We are going to remove the change type and we are going to remove 4 rows. So remove top rows and say 4. Click OK. Now the rows have been removed. Then we are going to use or promote the first row as headers. And lastly, we are going to change the type. In fact, it has already been done. So let's close it. Let's delete it and then make it as a decimal number because it is possible that a decimal number can come. Same thing we'll do. We will only create a connection and add this to a data model. Lastly, let's bring in our text report from our financial system. This will be a more involved work because if you see, we have not only header rows, but we also have some data that we need to transform into columns. So let's see. Click on transform, remove the change type. First thing is yeah, I need the system name, because if you see there are two systems involved, we will run into issue that we will have two amounts clubbed into one, which will not be right. So now what we need to do is to have one column where the system 1 or system 2 is repeated. We need this because we need to be able to make sure that we are matching system 2 figures with system 2 and system 1 figure with system 1. So how we can do this? It's very easy. Let's create a new column and a conditional column. What is the condition? First of all, let's call it system. If column 1 equals, if you see here, there is something called source. So if the value is source, then what we should do? Just take the value from which column? Column 2. If I click OK, see this? If it is source, take the value from column 2, which is system 1. Otherwise, it's null. So why did I do it? Because now I can go to transform, fill, down, and you will see the name is appearing over here. And you will see the name is repeating over here. Now, what we need to do is to remove top 1 till 7 rows because we don't need these rows. So do the same thing. Go to home, remove top rows and say 7. In fact, I don't need this column. So let's just click remove column so that we are working with a very clean data. Now that we have two columns only, we are going to split column 1 into its components. So now we are going to use the split column. But how we know okay, how much characters we need to split it on? So if you see here in the file, we are at the column 20. So if you see this, apologies, if you see this, these are 20 numbers, 20 characters from the left that we need for invoice number. So let's just split the column over here by 20 characters. And we need only once. Why? Because location has more characters than 20. Click OK. And now you will see the invoice number is appearing properly in its own format. Fine. Now remove the change type because it tries to automatically change the type. So now we have only location and the amount to deal with. Now, location, we can take the same. I will remove it so that it is easy for us to see, or let me just take it in the next column. And let's see, location is 29 characters. Let's see over here, split columns by number of characters, 29, and also only once. Click OK. Let me change it by 28 only. And here you go. Now we have location and the amount separately. So now what we need to do is to make sure that all the unnecessary spaces are trimmed. So we will select from 1 to column 3, right click, transform and trim. We will insert it. Actually, let's just remove the change column. Also, what we need to do is to promote these rows as headers. And we need to just rename this source. And lastly, what we need to do is to just change the type to decimal numbers. What it will do is it will create errors for the item that it cannot convert. So what we will do, remove here and remove errors. Also, what we need to do is to remove nulls. So we'll just remove null and click OK. See now, we get now our clean data, which has invoice number, the location, the amount, and the system. So let's just change it first of all. Financial system query. And once we are at it, why not change the name of system 2 query? Rename it. Go back to financial system. Close and load to. Similarly, create connection and add this to data model. So now we are able to load in all the data and we are ready to match the figures. But wait, did we notice the names are not matching? In fact, let me show you. So select from the data model. I will start with system 1 and I need only the location and only the amount. Let me change it to comma. Now I will use the same process to bring the data from system 2. I need the location and the amount. Let's just change it so that it's easy to see here. And now because we are trying to match it, what we will do is we will bring the data in front of it from the financial system query. We need the location and the amount. But there is a problem. If you see the amount when I change its type or its formatting, it is from system 1. This one is from system 2, but this is all. But remember, we had source. Why not bring the source over here? So now I need from system 1 only. Okay. And now let's just copy, paste it over here and say show me from system 2. I'll bring the system 2 table down a bit. Here you go. But we have a problem. Let's first of all try to match this with the names. You can see that the names are not matching from both systems. As I told you, every system has its naming convention. So now we are not able to map these names. So what do we need to do? Let me auto fit this column so that you can see. Here it says clinic care general hospital, but here the naming convention is hospital clinic care. So I need a way in which I can bring this name match to this name. Similarly here they have H instead of hospital. So here it has to match this name. Apologies. Clearly, we need a mapping table to make sure that these names match with these, and similarly, somehow these names match to these. So what do we need to do? Well, our easy way is to create a mapping sheet. So let me create a mapping sheet in which I will bring from one system, like a financial system, the location names. Let me paste it as values. So location, name, financial, and here I would say common name. So let me bring the common name from the previous sheet, which is clinic simple to simple clinic, clinic here to Clinic Care General Hospital. And similarly, complex to Complex Skin Hospital. I'll copy, paste special values, and this is my common name mapping for financial system. Let me very quickly convert it to a table and call it TBL financial common name. It's good to keep descriptive names and either even if they are long, because then you will be able to easily see it when we are actually making the relationship in the next step. Now, let's go back and see the system too. Copy these names, paste it over here as values, and do the same thing. This time, what we can do is to just go here and say clinic here. There will be this one, complex will be this one, and simple will be this one. Same thing I will say, location name from system 2 and common name. Copy paste special values and convert it to a table. Call it TBL system 2 common name. So now we have two tables. Let's just change the color so that it is easily to identify. Now, if you see over here, I'm not doing it for system 1 because system 1 looks to me that it has complete names. All the others are using some abbreviation or some different names, but system 1 has the full name. So we are considering system 1 to be the source for our common names. Now, what can we do with these common names? Well, let's just bring it to our data model. Keep your keep your cursor inside the first table and click on from table or range. No need to change type, no need to change anything. Again, just load to only create a connection and add this to data model. So now if you see over here, there is 3 rows that have been added and no errors. Similar steps we will follow over here from table range. And now close and load to. Now before moving forward, let's just refresh everything so that so that we can check everything is working fine, then there is no errors. See, keep an eye over here. Everything is loaded perfectly. So now why did we do this? So now that we have brought in all the tables, everything is loaded. Let's just make the relationships by going to manage data model and then go to diagram view. All the tables that we have made will be shown over here. So we have financial system and we have financial system common names. So what we can do is just take the name from the location and make a relationship between both. So you can see from here, this is one-to-many relationship between the common names from the financial system and the financial system data that we have loaded. So you can see from here that the locations here, there is only one location, but there could be many over here. Okay. Similarly, from system 2, we are going to create this similar kind of relationship. Let me just bring it and align it properly over here. So now let's take the location from here, bring it over here. Same thing should happen. One to many relationship should be made because this will be repeating, but this will not. This will be our source of providing the common names. Nothing to do with the system 1 query because it already has complete names. So let's just close it now. And now come to our main sheet. Just minimize it a little bit. I don't need these names, so I will remove these names. And now I need the common name. So take this common name and bring it over here. Now you see it has turned into true because now the names are matching. See, and also what we will do, C4 minus I4, it will show me that there is no difference. So now if we can color code it to see it visually, and say if it's equal to 0, give me a green. Now it will be very easy for me to see system 1. Let me just put over here system 1 data is matching financial system data. Let me make it more obvious. Similarly, let me just put here. Similarly, let me just copy and paste it over here and call it system 2 data. So now let's do the same for our system 2 data. Let's just go to financial system, remove this and say from the financial system common names, I need the common name. And then system 2, I need system 2 common name. Here you go. Now, if you see, we have common names and now we are able to match everything in a single sheet. Now that we are able to automate this process of matching, let's test it on another day. Okay, now that we are able to match one day's data, let us try and see if the same logic will apply on any other day. So what we will do is, if we go back to our folder, remember that we had files in our data folder. Once you are finished with this, change it and put either any other name, for example, backup, or put the date. So we were using 2025-01-01 as an example. Now, new data should reside in the folder called data. Now, all we need to do is to click on refresh all. See now, it's showing proper matching. Now let's just go in our folder and deliberately change few things. So for example, here I will say instead of 1352, I will say 1342. And over here, let's just make it 800. So we are trying to simulate that the financial system did not get proper data. Let's just save it and refresh again. See if we are able to catch any differences. Wow, we are able to actually. And what we can do is to use conditional formatting and say new rule, cell value is not equal to 0. So now copy, paste. So we can see now, although the system names are matching, but there is a difference. And all we need to do is to just make sure that we put this system here, paste the, and now from here we can know that our financial system is not showing properly. So let's just go and fix the financial system. So we are simulating that we are actually fixing our financial system. Okay. So 1352. So, in a way, what I'm trying to say, and now we have fixed the financial system and they have generated another report. This is what exactly another report would look like, which is with the correct data. Save, and now data, refresh all. No difference at all. Now we are good to go. So after a few cosmetic changes, you should use this kind of Power Query to match any system, as long as you are able to manage and map the data to proper names so that these are common names and you are able to match those. Other than that, I think it should be very beneficial for you and will ease your work. I will try to make more videos for workflow improvement. Until then, if you have any comments, do let me know in the comments box and I'll be sure to reply. Until then, thank you.